Hey, welcome back to the spaceport. Yeah. What do you think of that? Okay, we got 200 pounds of concrete blocks sitting here. Well, 193 or something, whatever. But what a bunch of weight on the sidecar. Yeah, I wasn't bullshitting about Van 200 with sidecar. Getting back into, passenger shape right now. It's gonna be a rigged configuration again. So, it's basically like a rolling tripod. But that also means that it's really sketchy when you're cornering. It will roll over. So hence 200 pounds in there. It really works best with a passenger. So this is sort of mocking up what it would be like. So you see that? That action there? Hopefully my privacy flashlight is working well enough. So yeah, weight of me on bike. I actually, bounce the springs on both. So steering damper, this is just a teaser. I'm not supposed to talk much right now, but I thought, whatever. Pretty stoked. Putting things back together, test, blah, 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 things like that. Thinking about maybe having a seat on the fender as well, so that you can kind of have fender sit on here like you're on your own bike, with handlebars there and something to hold on to and pegs for your feet, and then have big cargo in there or something. Who knows? That's all the fun in it. That's the joy in being able to do this stuff and make it your own. So what else is going on? We had a warm-up, well, a big cold snap and then a warm-up. So things got really wet. There were like puddles underneath all these things. Anything that was big and metal ended up with condensation, just drenched, coming down off of it. Of course, the boat, no big deal, not mine anyway. Airstream, wrecked, also not mine, and I can't do anything with it. It's just here for looks. Yeah, can't restore it, can't get it out of the way, can't do whatever. It's just, a fun thing to have to shuffle around all the time. But big rusting out truck, might look pretty on the outside right now, but wait till you look underneath. Frame is a lot less straight than it was last year. So yeah. Anyway, condensation on stuff sucks. So I was thinking about putting more reflective Reflectix stuff. That's basically this Mylar bubble wrap junk. That's kind of like what you put in your windshield to keep your car from overheating. So I was thinking about putting that all across as much of it as the roof as I could do. I'm bouncing lights off of it right now. It's just being a reflector. But this morning when I looked out the window from the house, I saw that the frost on this building spelled out exactly where the Reflectix was installed earlier, when I had those things. So those parts of the roof actually were a different temperature from the rest. So thinking to go ahead and try to fill out the rest of, as much of the rest of that with that silver junk as I can, so that I don't lose all my heat to the sky at night. And you can tell it works because here's your test. If this stuff is the genuine article, this is another bunch of it. Lay it out on a cold concrete floor, like if it's icy outside. Take your shoes off and then walk on it barefoot. And walk on the concrete barefoot. Enough said. I'm going to drop the mic. That's also where the barn cat likes to hang out and not have all the heat sucked out of it from the concrete floor. Because even though I'm wearing, pretty thick, what is it, the Muck Arctic Pro or whatever, Arctic, whatever. They're the heaviest, second heaviest boots they make. All the heat gets sucked, leached right out of your foot down into the floor. I actually have insoles that I made, cut out of this stuff that I put in here under my boots as well. But you do eventually lose a lot of heat just into the concrete floor. So just standing on this stuff helps a lot. It's just that looking at it with a headlamp when you drop something is a nightmare. I'm trying to find a part. Doesn't look as bad in person there, but it's, again, the old looking at chrome with a headlamp problem. Yeah, suddenly you're looking straight into a blinding light. But yeah, doing that and then putting, right now I've got pet beds underneath, and underneath here, going under the milling machine because it had just a ton of condensation on it. And yeah, I did put more of the oil fluid film lanolin stuff on here, but not before it already got drenched. So it got drenched with no rust protectant oil on it at all, and that sucked a lot. So keeping this block of metal above dew point is critical. So I'm going to keep heaters on this, like pet beds things, or maybe engine block heater, or that pipe wrap tape that you can put on your pipes so that you so that they don't freeze, or gutter tape. Just anything to keep it above dew point. Just a little bit warmer than the air is important. And then also having, a tarp over it. So, and yeah, I was thinking about doing that to the truck too. Putting heated tape on here, on the frame underneath, so that not only can I, plug in the engine block heater, but just in general all the time I can have it plugged in so there's so the frame is above dew point. Just plug it into the building so it's not getting all the crazy condensation and shortening its already short life even more. So yeah, that's the deal. Collecting thoughts, processing. Yeah, so beloved Hayabusa also had condensation on it, so I've got a pet bed on top of Reflectix, underneath tarps, with more, come on. It's one thing about using a stabilizer, really tough to get it to tilt quickly. Yeah, so that there's a little cocoon of warm, tent of warm there. So yeah, I realize that it's a big challenge to keep this entire building above dew point, but maybe just some objects that I don't want rusting out. So small local areas. I also have like these infrared heat lamps that I use in the barn and stuff for things, and it doesn't look, it doesn't put out any visible light, but it's, it's like, I don't know, 150 watts of invisible infrared warmth that you can just sit in front of it. It's nice. It's like where you load and unload at a big airport outside, where they have the radiant heat tubes above. Now, yeah, I would like to have radiant heat tubes along the ceiling. That's an install I'm not able to do really quickly by myself. Also, a wood stove. That could be something, that I could do radiant heat with and whatever. Again, not doing that by myself really quickly with the chimney and all that crap. But yeah, I'll go up in the ceiling in the rafters and dangle from those and do those things all day. In fact, my pro tip is to use skinny PVC pipes between the what is it, rafter joist? Yeah, between the roof structure and the insulation to pin that stuff up. Those are 10-footers cut in half. Oops, little audio glitch. I use a lot of those in the electric fence as struts to hold things up. So yeah, you just take this 4-foot wide stuff, put it in between the 4-foot spacings up there, and there you go. Now it would be nice to have that on the north wall, to have that all silver too, but then again, I'm a whole lot more likely to also be looking at the north wall with my headlamp on and be blinding myself all the time. Yeah, first world problems, I guess. So yeah, these things, these 5-footers, and you just get the snippy doos. You don't have to saw them. They're like, you know, click, 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 click. These plier snip things that let you cut it quickly. Kubota updates. Wheels not on it. I showed the rust in the fenders. Vulcan waiting for sidecar, because this mother would be just the king of all chugs for moving heavy sidecars around. Oh, can't wait. Got to get some local warmth on this before the next warm up. Yeah, so there you go. That's pretty much it. Just wanted to give a shout out to my boy Chris. Say hang in there, rock it, and you know, we'll you know, keep doing stuff, or you keep doing stuff, I'll keep doing my stuff, and yeah, we're all in this we're all in this together. Teamwork, folks. Mostly these videos, by the way, are like me talking to future me. So I try not to overpromise or whatever, and I reveal way too many details for anyone in the public who would ever care about anything. But I care about it, and so when I watch it in the future, it's fascinating to me. In fact, the last few videos I've made, this in the last month and a half or whatever, since Thanksgiving, 2 months I guess, have been fascinating to me, and I play them to myself inside as I drift off to sleep, listening to the chugga 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 of the Vulcan, and smelling the lovely hydrocarbon burning rich 1970s Cadillac and fur coat smell of that. By the way, I'm not going to fire it up now because I shouldn't do it so much when it's cold. Anyway, favorite sound is get on this thing, have it going chugga 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 chugga, and give it a little blip, just not a whop, just a chugga chugga chugga, just two strokes. We're just going chugga chugga chugga. 1 2 1 2. That's it. Booga booga booga. Kuka. And so when you're sitting here with this backrest in your kidneys, dugga dugga dugga, kuka, and it's just like a visceral joy. All right. I hope you know, until I had a cruiser, I didn't really understand, but I, you know, kind of always, you know, thought it'd be a-okay and whatever. Different era. And now that I have one, oh, it's just a visceral thing you don't get from smooth engines. You just don't get it. You know. Anyway, it's just a different thing, and maybe it's the same joy that you get from like those antique hit or miss engines. All right. Good night, everybody. Let's not make this a regular thing, okay? Bye.